Hello everybody. So you'll see that I am recording from a different spot than normally, and actually it's been a while since I've done one of these talk to the camera style videos. Um, but today I want to talk more about some G.I. Joe stuff, which I haven't really been talking a lot about in videos as of late. So you'll see that I am back in the basement, otherwise known as the Funny Book Dungeon. I have a ton of comics all around. You can't see it so much in frame, but I've had this project I've been working on down here, pretty much reorganizing, trying to make a better workspace. And I've finally gotten to a space where I've been doing a lot more down here in terms of like action figure photography. I have my drawing space reorganized and usable. Everything's usable down here. So I figured I'm going to make a video about G.I. Joe Classified. Why not do it downstairs in the studio where I have the G.I. Joe Classified display rather than with the Black Series figures displayed behind me like you might have seen in previous videos. So here we are, and I might use this area more and more for recording videos. I'm not sure yet. The audio quality might be a determining factor in that. Now that said, if you've watched several of my previous videos, and maybe even this one, the audio quality isn't that great. That's something that I'm trying to do better at. I'm not a professional videographer or sound guy by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, getting off track here. So let's get into the video topic. As of the time I'm recording this, we are getting pretty close to the end of the year, and rather than look back on the things that we've seen or that I think are the best things from 2022, I'd rather look forward to think about what we might see in 2023. Now, some of this stuff is pretty obvious. There's not a lot on here that we haven't heard mention of already. So I'm going to go through that. I want to talk a little bit channel stuff towards the end, I think. Yeah, so let's get into it. What's likely to actually arrive in 2023? So to start off, I want to go with the obvious. We are going to get the Tiger Force Duke, which some folks have already gotten, but will be certainly released wide in the US in 2023. Probably in January, as Hasbro Pulse states January 1st as their release date. And we will also see Recondo Bazooka and the Python Officer shortly thereafter. I believe Hasbro Pulse has the stated release date as February, maybe, something like that. But we'll see. But we're certainly going to see these Python Patrol and Tiger Force characters in this coming year. Also, obvious, we'll see Falcon, Cover Girl, Crimson Bat, Marauders, Barbecue, and regular Deco Outback. In my estimation, we'll start seeing those hit stores in spring. But who knows, if we want to look at 2022 as an example of how release dates can go awry, I think it's a great example. Next up, the His Tank will arrive in 2023. So we've already paid for it. We know the general release window, so fall of 2023, but this is a list of what we're likely to see in 2023. So His Tank's on there because we will see that this year, this coming year, even though we all know it's not a surprise. But I do want to take a little sidebar since we're on the topic of Haslabs right now. There's been a lot of talk lately about the potential or the leak or the rumors of a Haslab Dragonfly. Now, personally, if that were to happen, I would love it. I would think that would be great. I think I can find a place to put it. But I think it's worthwhile to put a big grain of salt on any rumors we're hearing about Haslabs right now. And that said, I do think we will get official word from Hasbro likely in the coming months about a next Haslab. I believe that we will hear official word about the Haslab from G.I. Joe or Hasbro My theory is probably sometime in spring. Um, and I think that we will, I could be wrong, but my guess is that the campaign for the next Haslab, which I'm certain it will be a G.I. Joe vehicle of some type, if not the Dragonfly, my guess is that that campaign will start running before the Hiss tank ever ships. That's my guess. I could be wrong. We'll see. Okay, moving on. What else are we going to see in 2023? The remainder of the retro collection. So Zartan, Storm Shadow, Crimson Guard, Retro Snake Eye. I don't have really a timeline on those. I would expect that they would probably come sooner than later. I think we're likely to learn what the next Walmart exclusive thing is going to be this year. They already said they're going to stop the retro card backs for Walmart exclusives. That said, and while I still have Haslab a little bit on my mind, I do hope they give us a card back of some character with the next Haslab, like they did with the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, just for cohesiveness. Because some of us who are getting that Hiss tank are probably going to want to leave that Cobra Commander on card. And it would be nice if the next Haslab, if you were to get both, also delivered some kind of exclusive, really unique character that you might want to keep on card. Okay, that's a little side note. Moving right ahead. What else are we likely to see come in 2023? Well, there have been several digital renders and or name only reveals that we've seen coming towards the end of this year. We're not going to see all of those characters hit in 2023, as it's been stated that they were 23/2024 releases. So some of these name onlys are going to land in 2024 rather than 2023. So the following will be my list of what I'm certain we'll see in 2023. So the ones I'm certain we'll see, I think, are obvious because we've already received digital renders here at the US. And that would be Rock and Roll, Shipwreck, Bazooka, Torpedo, and Copperhead. These are all pretty great characters. I think that we should expect to see these guys probably, if I were to guess, I would say approximately hitting summertime, but we'll see. It could be a deal where it's dry as a bone for most of the year, and then in fall, winter, Christmas time 2023, we're all getting pre-order after pre-order after pre-order pulled out of our bank accounts like this year, but we can hope for better next time. Okay, what else? From the name only reveals, we might not really get all of these because this list is a little bit long, but these are the ones that I think we are likely to get, and we could very well see all of these. Grunt, Snowjob, Tunnel Rat, Scrap Iron, Ripper, Buzzer, Firefly, the Televiper with the Flight Pod, the Snow Serpent, and Lowlight. I think it's very likely that we could see all 10 of those name-only figures come out in 2023. Now, here are a few that I feel like are more likely to be 2024 releases, but I would really love to see them come out in 2023. And that would be Hawk and Tripwire, Chuckles, and our female Cobra Troopers 2-pack. Now, of these 4 that I just named, I feel like the Trooper 2-pack is more likely than the other 3 to land in 2023, but we shall see. I'm hopeful for all of them. Now, those are my picks for what we'll see this coming year from our name-only reveals and our digital renders. However, I could be off, and I would be curious what you think we will see. Was there something from the name only digital render list that you think will actually hit later? Or did I leave off one of the name only reveals or digital renders that you think we will see in 2023? If it's not on this list, it means I think it'll be a 2024. So Big Ben, Range Viper, etc. I think they'll be 2024. But if you think differently, definitely let me know in the comments. It's a fun conversation. Okay, moving on to the next piece. I have a few other things that haven't been released or rather teased or announced or anything like that, that I think, even though we haven't gotten word of, could be something we might see in 2023. First off, well, actually, this one was alluded to. They talked about a troop builder they were calling the Mole Rats. I'm not sure what the Mole Rats might be, and that might be a good topic for another video to kind of speculate on. I do have some ideas, but I could be way off. Who knows? But I think it's possible that we could not only learn what these troop builders are, but they might actually hit shelves this coming year as well, which I think is totally possible. Number two, or whatever. Since we're getting Buzzer and Ripper, at least they've been announced at name only, and I think it's likely that they will come in 2023. I think it's also likely that we could get Torch around the same time, even though he wasn't announced. Buzzer, Ripper, and Torch are like Larry, Moe, and Curly. They go together. So I don't think it would be right to make us wait a whole bunch of time in between the releases of those three main Dreadnoks. So you heard it here first. I mean, actually, I made a prediction about a Dreadnought forever ago. It didn't happen yet. I think we will eventually get most, if not all, of the Dreadnoughts, but I think that the fans would really like it to get those main three sooner than later. And if we are going to get Buzzer and Ripper, I think it's highly likely that Torch will come around the same time or shortly thereafter. Third, the G.I. Joe team needs a medic. Therefore, I feel like we're likely to get Doc sooner than later. Could they make it Lifeline or something like that? Sure. But when I think of the iconic Doctor for G.I. Joe, it's always going to be Doc. So this might be more wishful thinking than anything else, but the line is a couple or a few years old now. We still don't have a medic, and I just kind of think it's about time. And, you know, I feel like that might be a surprise drop. I don't think that they're going to tell us everything they're going to put out in advance. There are certainly some things that are going to drop in 2023 that they haven't mentioned yet. And I think there's a strong chance, or highly wishful thinking on my part, that Doc is one of these characters. The last piece here, the G.I. Joe team is at a disadvantage right now in terms of vehicles. So what I mean is, right now, for most of us, there's only the Ram cycle, the first Ram cycle, because the other Ram cycle, which is the same thing with a different paint job, hasn't really released widely in the US as of this recording. It probably will soon, but as of now, we only have one little motorcycle for the G.I. Joes. For the Cobras, we have the coil bike, we have the air chariot, and the His tank is coming. We've already paid for it. And we know that we are going to be getting the flight pods sometime soon. So we have 2 Ram cycles versus 4 different types of vehicle for the Cobra. I believe we are, as I said earlier, I believe we are going to get word of, probably even put our money down on the next Haslab for G.I. Joe, which I think will very likely be a G.I. Joe team vehicle. That said, they're still a little bit short, and I think it is very likely that we might get some other kind of vehicle or artillery piece or something for the G.I. Joe team. I think it only makes sense. And it would be a great surprise. It would be something I think the fans would really like. Might it be part of a PulseCon or SDCC situation? I think fans will be not happy about that, but it is likely. That's how we got the Air Chariot. So we'll see. Okay, so that's about everything I wanted to cover. And as you might be able to hear in the background, the heater came on and is messing up the vibes or my recording or whatever. So I'm going to cut it here. If you want more commentary on toy collecting or whatever I decide to do any given week, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, like it. What else? If you want action figure photography that mostly is in the G.I. Joe classified lane, follow 1134 Comics on Instagram. I've also been experimenting with making shorts here on YouTube, and I think I'm going to do all the figure photography stuff I put on YouTube as shorts rather than regular videos, and I'm going to reserve the regular videos for whenever I do some kind of commentary or have thoughts on the hobby. And we'll see. Also this year, I think will be another year of experimentation on this channel. We have the blog also, 1134comics.com. That's where I post stuff related to the channel. Also, you can find comics, web comics that I've done on there, etc., etc., etc. You can really dive into this stuff. The web comics have been going on for quite a long time, much longer than I've been making these videos. Okay, so this looks like a good time to end, and until next time, have a good 2023.